I'm Wadleigh. I'm a Guild-certified Feldenkrais practitioner and the owner and manager of the Feldenkrais store. I'm here with Donna Ray. Donna is a Feldenkrais trainer and marriage and family therapist. Donna has developed an advanced Feldenkrais training and public workshop, The Link Between Recovering from Trauma and Emotional Integration, which brings together the Feldenkrais method and interpersonal neurobiology developed by Dr. Daniel Siegal. Donna, welcome.
Thank you.
It's good to see you again.
Good to see you too.
So I'm really intrigued with this idea of bringing interpersonal neurobiology and the Feldenkrais method together. And I'm wondering if you could go a little bit more into how you began your study with interpersonal neurobiology and how you're integrating that with the Feldenkrais method.
Yes, I'd love to. I came upon the book, The Developing Mind, written by Dr. Siegal in 2000. And that book includes many of the assumptions that Feldenkrais made as he developed the Feldenkrais method. One principle is the idea of integration. So Dan Siegal discusses in his book, The Developing Mind, how the process of integration through differentiation and linkage and then bringing the parts together, creating a whole, is actually the way to look at health and mental functioning and human behavior. And Dr. Feldenkrais, as we know, was very much against the idea of pathology. He too looked at human behavior from the point of view of integration. Now, Dr. Feldenkrais used the movement of the skeleton and the various parts of the skeleton and the neuromuscular system to create the process of learning through integration. And it's actually a very concrete process. So we sense it, we feel it, and we experience ourselves. And we know as Feldenkrais practitioners what integrated means because we have a knowing sense of that. Now, in interpersonal neurobiology, Dr. Siegal talks about the various parts of the brain, and he further developed 9 domains of integration where he discusses how parts of the brain, nervous system, and other aspects of human behavior can be seen in this process of integration. So if you look at the system that we have in the Feldenkrais method that includes movement and sensation and proprioception, and we put that together with Dr. Siegal's work, we have even more to look at from the point of view of integration itself. So it vastly increases our view of how integration applies to human behavior and how we can use that information as practitioners and apply it in our practices.
That to me is very exciting, and I'm really intrigued with that idea. I'm looking forward to the workshop. I've been doing some reading and some watching videos of Dr. Siegal's, and his work does seem very congruent with the Feldenkrais method. And once again, it's modern science confirming what Feldenkrais knew and understood decades ago.
That's right. It confirms what we're doing. And by studying interpersonal neurobiology, we actually can address the how of what we're doing. So as Feldenkrais practitioners, we rely a tremendous amount on our intuition and implicit learning because we learn through sensation, through movement, and the development of self-awareness. And all of that is absolutely necessary. If we add the work of Dan Siegal, we can see what we're doing even more clearly. So Feldenkrais said, know what you're doing so you can do what you want. And I believe this applies to our practice of the Feldenkrais method. So if we have a better sense of what we're doing with people, we can create environment that really encourages learning for people. We can't control it and we would never want to. But since we are part of the environment, we need to be aware of how we're interacting with people and how our interactions and communications create the environment necessary for the person to develop awareness and create the integration that's needed.
So in terms of the advanced training, what's that going to look like for practitioners? Or is there going to be a mix of ATM, functional integration, dialogue work? And what can practitioners expect to take home with them and to be able to put into action in their practices?
Everything that you've mentioned will be included. So we will be experiencing awareness through movement together. We will practice functional integration, and we're also going to practice in certain ways of communication so that people will have skills to take home with them and awareness that they will not have had when they enter. So when they leave, they're going to have a higher level of awareness that they will be able to apply with their students in their practices. And we're going to be addressing emotional integration and discussing trauma recovery, whether it be a small trauma or a large trauma, because we've all experienced trauma in our lives. You cannot live this life without experiencing some kind of trauma. We will discuss trauma from the point of view of the Feldenkrais method and other modalities as well.
In terms of the public workshop, who should attend that workshop and what can they expect to get out of it?
Anyone can attend that workshop, the public workshop, because everyone that attends will leave feeling better. They will have an experience of a higher level of integration, and they will understand themselves better from the point of view of emotional integration, movement integration, and social engagement integration. So they will have the parts of the puzzle necessary that will lend them to the ongoing process of integrating, because we don't arrive. It's an ongoing process, but they will understand the elements and they will be able to continue on their own, and they will feel better by the end of the day. And if they're doing it for their personal benefit, they will receive benefits in that way. If they're professionals and they want to understand how to work more clearly as a psychotherapist or physical therapist or speech therapist, whatever their interest is, they will have a better view of how to go about working with people.
Very good. I'm excited to be in both these workshops. Right, so Donna, she'll be presenting her advanced training September 24th through the 26th in Boulder, and the public workshop September 27th in Boulder, Colorado, and that is 2015. And Donna, how can people get a hold of you and find out more about workshops that you're organizing and trainings that you're doing?
I can be reached at donnaray.com, and on my website you'll find a paper that I presented to Dr. Siegal demonstrating how I integrate the Feldenkrais method, psychotherapy, and interpersonal neurobiology. So if you'd like to have a glimpse of the workshop, you can read my paper in advance, and that will give you a preface to what we'll be discussing. And from there, you'll see other recommended reading. So I really look forward to meeting you all at the workshop, and I believe that this work is instrumental in our personal and professional development.
To learn more about offerings at the Feldenkrais store, workshops, and advanced trainings that Aaron Ferguson and I are organizing together, you can go to the Feldenkrais store. That's achievingexcellence.com. Go to the workshop section, and you can find out what our current offerings are. And we are looking forward to seeing you all there. And Donna, looking forward to seeing you. It's been great talking with you.
Thank you, Al. See you soon.